Om Shanti. This is the Saakar Murali of the 11th of September 2021. Essence. Sweet children, the true Father establishes the land of truth. You have come to the Father to listen to the true knowledge of how to become Narayan from an ordinary man. Question. Why do you children have to remain very, very cautious while living in your household? Answer. Because your ways and means are unique. Your knowledge is incognito. This is why you have to have unlimited intellects in order to fulfill your responsibilities to everyone. Internally, have the awareness that you are all brothers or brothers and sisters. However, this doesn't mean that a wife says to her husband, "You are my brother." When others hear this, they would wonder what has happened to her. You have to be very tactful. Om Shanti. The spiritual father sits here and explains to you spiritual children. If you don't use the word spiritual, but just say father, it is still understood that this is the spiritual father. The Father sits here and explains to you children. All of you say that you are brothers. Therefore, the Father sits here and explains to you children. He does not explain to everyone. God speaks is also mentioned in the Gita. To whom? All other children of God. That God is the Father, so all the children of God are brothers. God would have explained to them and taught them Raja Yoga. The locks on your intellects have now opened. No one except you can have such thoughts. Those who receive the message will continue to come to this school and study. Having seen the exhibition, they will think that they should now go and hear a bit more. The first and foremost thing is that the ocean of knowledge, the purifier, the bestower of the knowledge of the Gita, God Shiva, speaks. They have to know who it is who is teaching and explaining to you. That Supreme Soul, the ocean of knowledge, is incorporeal. He is the truth. He only tells you the truth. Therefore, there can be no question arising about that. You have left everything up to the truth. So, first of all, you have to explain that it is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, who is teaching you Raja Yoga through Brahma. This is a royal status. Those who have the faith that it is one who is the Father of all, the Father from beyond this world, those who have the faith that it is one who is the Father of all, the Father from beyond this world, who sits and explains to us, and that He is the greatest authority, will not have any questions. He is the purifier. When He comes here, He must definitely come at His own time. You can see that this is the same Mahabharat war. There will be the viceless world after destruction. People don't know that Bharat was viceless. Their intellects do not work. They have Godrej locks on them. Only the one Father has the key to those. This is why no one knows who it is who is teaching you. They think it is this Dada, and so they start defaming him and saying bad things. Therefore, you should first of all explain that it is written here, God Shiva speaks. He is the truth. The Father is knowledgeful. He explains to you the secrets of the beginning, the middle, and the end of the world. You are now receiving these teachings from that unlimited Father. He is the creator of the world, the one who makes the impure world pure. So, first of all, give the Father's introduction and explain about the relationship with the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. He gives the true knowledge of becoming Narayan from an ordinary man. You children know that the Father is the truth, the Father who establishes the land of truth. You have come here to become Narayan from an ordinary man. When you go to study with a barrister, you would understand that you have gone there to become a barrister. You now have the faith that God is teaching you. Some do have this faith, but they then develop doubts, and so everyone says to them, "You used to say that God was teaching you, so why did you leave God?" When they have doubts, they run away. They then perform one sinful action or another. God speaks. Lust is the greatest enemy. By conquering it, you will become conquerors of the world. Those who become pure will go to the pure world. Here it is a matter of Raja Yoga. You will go and rule there. All the rest of the souls will settle their karmic accounts and return home. This is the time of settlement. Your intellects now say, the Golden Age definitely has to be established. The Golden Age is called the Pure World. All the rest will go to the land of liberation. They will then have to repeat their own parts. You also continue to make your own efforts to become pure and become the masters of the pure world. You would consider yourselves to be masters, would you not? Even the subjects are masters. Even now people say, Bharat, you understand that at present all are residents of hell. We are now studying Raja Yoga in order to become residents of heaven. Not everyone will become a resident of heaven. The Father says, only when the path of devotion comes to an end do I come. I have to come and give all the devotees the fruit of their devotion. The devotees are in the majority. All continue to call out, O God the Father. The words, O God the Father, O God, will definitely emerge from the mouths of the devotees. There is a difference between devotion and knowledge. You would never say, O Ishwar, O God. Human beings have developed this practice over half the cycle. You know that He is your Father. You don't have to say, O Baba. You have to receive your inheritance from the Father. First of all, have the faith that you are claiming your inheritance from the Father. The Father makes you children worthy of claiming your inheritance. That one is the true Father. The Father knows that the children to whom he gave the nectar of knowledge to drink, those he sat on the pyre of knowledge, those he made into deities, the masters of the world, have now been burnt completely by sitting on the pyre of lust. I now seat them on the pyre of knowledge, awaken them from their deep sleep, and take them to heaven. The Father has explained that you souls reside there in the land of peace and the land of happiness. The land of happiness is called the viceless world, the completely viceless world. Deities reside there, whereas the other land is the sweet home, the home of souls. All actors come here from that land of peace in order to play their parts. We souls are not residents of this place. Those actors are residents of this place. They just come here from their homes, change their costumes, (dress), and play their parts. You understand that your home is the land of peace to where you will return. When all the actors have come onto the stage, the Father comes and takes everyone back. This is why he is called the Liberator and the Guide. He is the remover of sorrow and the bestower of happiness. Therefore, where would all the human beings go? Just think about it. Why do you call out to the Purifier to come? For your own death. You don't want to live in the world of sorrow, and this is why you ask to be taken home. Here everyone believes in liberation. The ancient yoga of Bharat is very well known. People go abroad to teach ancient Raja Yoga. There are many Christians who give respect to the sannyasis. The saffron robe is the costume of the Hatha yogis. You don't have to renounce your home and family. You don't even have the restriction of having to wear white clothes. However, white is good. You were in the bhatti, and so this became your dress. Nowadays, people like white a lot. When someone dies, they cover him with a white sheet. Therefore, first of all, give the Father's introduction to anyone who comes. There are two Fathers. It takes time to understand this aspect. You are not able to explain so much to them at the exhibitions. In the Golden Age, there is one Father, whereas at this time you have three Fathers, because God enters the body of Prajapita Brahma. He too is the Father of everyone. Okay, out of the three Fathers, which one gives the greatest inheritance? How can the incorporeal Father give the inheritance? So he gives it through Brahma. He carries out establishment through Brahma, and he also gives the inheritance through Brahma. You can explain very clearly using this picture. There is Shiv Baba, and then there is Prajapita Brahma, Adi Dev, and Adi Devi. This one is the great-great-grandfather. The Father says, I, Shiva, am not called the great-great-grandfather. I am the Father of all. This one is Prajapita Brahma. You are brothers and sisters. You cannot criminally assault one another. When the vision of lust pulls a couple together, they fall and forget the Father. The Father says, "You become my child, and you then dirty your face." The unlimited Father is explaining to you children, you have this intoxication. You also know that you have to live in your households. You also have to fulfill your responsibility to your worldly relations. Each of you would call your worldly father just Father. You cannot call him your brother. In an ordinary way, you would call your father Father. It is in your intellects that those are your physical fathers. You have knowledge. This knowledge is unique. Nowadays, they call one another by their first name. However, if you call him your brother in front of a visitor, he would think that you had gone crazy. You have to be very tactful. Your knowledge is incognito, and your relationships are also incognito. Generally, women don't call their husbands by their names. Husbands do call their wives by their names. You have to interact with one another very tactfully. You have to fulfill your responsibilities to your worldly relatives. Your intellects do have to go up above. We are claiming our inheritance from the Father. But you have to call your uncle, uncle, and your father, father. Those who haven't become Brahma Kumars or Kumaris would not consider themselves to be brothers and sisters. Only those who have become BKs would understand these things. Outsiders would be amazed on hearing this. A very good intellect is needed to understand these things. The Father broadens the intellects of you children. At first you had limited intellects. Now your intellects go into the unlimited. He is our unlimited Father. All of these are our brothers and sisters. At home you should call your mother-in-law, mother-in-law, not sister. While living at home you have to interact very tactfully. Otherwise, if you call your husband brother and your mother-in-law sister, people would ask, "What is this?" Only you and no one else have this knowledge. It is said, Prabhu, brackets God, only you know your ways and means. You have now become his children, and so only you know your ways and means. You have to move along with great caution so that no one else becomes confused. At the exhibitions, you children first of all have to explain that it is God who is teaching you. Now, tell us who God is. Incorporeal Shiva or the bodily being Sri Krishna? It is said in the Gita, God speaks. Were those versions of the Gita spoken by Shiva, the Supreme Soul, or by Sri Krishna? Krishna is the first Prince of Heaven. You cannot say that the birthday of Krishna is also the birthday of Shiva. The birthday of Krishna comes after the birthday of Shiva. How he became Prince Sri Krishna after the birthday of Shiva is something that has to be understood. There is the birthday of Shiva, and then the birthday of the Gita, and then, immediately after that, the birthday of Krishna, because the Father teaches Raja Yoga. This has entered the intellects of you children. You cannot celebrate the birthday of Shiva until the Supreme Soul Shiva comes here. Unless Shiva came and established the land of Krishna, how could the birthday of Krishna be celebrated? They celebrate the birthday of Krishna, but they don't understand anything. Krishna is a prince, and so he would definitely be in the golden age. There would definitely have to be a kingdom of deities. There wouldn't be just one Krishna alone who received the sovereignty. There would definitely be the land of Krishna. They speak of the land of Krishna, and this then is the land of Kans, the devil. The land of Krishna is the new world, whereas the land of Kans is the old world. They say that there was a war between the deities and the devils, and that the deities won. However, it wasn't like that. The land of Kans was destroyed, and then the land of Krishna was established. The land of Kans would be in the old world. Kans and the devils would not exist in the new world. Look how many human beings there are here now. In the golden age, there will be very few. You can understand this too. Your intellects now think about these things. The deities did not fight. The deity community only exists in the golden age, whereas the devilish community exists here. There was no war between the deities and the devils, or between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. You are conquering Ravan. The Father says, "Conquer these vices and you will conquer the world." There is no question of fighting in this. If you use the word fighting, that would be violence. You have to conquer Ravan, but with non-violence. Just by remembering the Father, your sins will be absolved. The ancient Raja Yoga of Bharat is very well known. The Father says, "Connect your intellects in yoga with me and your sins will be absolved." The Father is the purifier, and so your intellects have to be connected in yoga with that Father, and you will then become pure from impure. You are now having yoga with him in a practical way. There is no question of fighting in this. Those who study well and have yoga with the Father will receive the inheritance from the Father, exactly as they did in the previous cycle. This old world is definitely going to be destroyed. They will all settle their karmic accounts and return home. There the class is transferred and they are seated number-wise. You too will go there and rule the kingdom number-wise. These are such logical matters and have to be understood. Acha? To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bap Dada. The spiritual Father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual Father. Essence Vedana 1. The golden age is being established at this time of settlement. Therefore, you definitely have to become pure. Never have any doubts about the Father or his task. 2. Knowledge and relationships are incognito. Therefore, have an unlimited intellect and interact with everyone in your household very tactfully. Don't speak words that would confuse those who hear them. Blessing. May you be multi-million times fortunate and earn an income of multi-millions on the basis of Srimat by finishing your own dictates and the dictates of others. Those who follow Srimat cannot have a single thought according to their own dictates or the dictates of others. If the speed of your stage is not fast, there is definitely something of your own dictates or the dictates of others being mixed with Srimat. Dictates of the mind are the thoughts that arise according to the limited sanskars of a soul, which make that soul fluctuate. Therefore, check yourself or have others check you. Don't take a single step without Srimat, for only then will you accumulate an income of multi-millions and be able to become multi-million times fortunate. Slogan: constantly to have benevolent feelings for all in your mind is the duty of a world benefactor soul. Om Shanti.